These aren't your old feuds. These are the freshest controversies tearing through Twitch right now. From personal allegations to wild on-stream drama. Which one sparks the most debate? We're counting down the top 3 streamer feuds dominating the timeline in 2025. Each one is raw, messy, and full of fallout. Get ready, this one hits deep. Before we get into the feuds, here's some context. Emiru and Mizkif have had a public relationship history, making personal accusations even more explosive. QTCinderella is known for her influence in the creator world, and Vanillamace is tightly tied to certain social circles, making their drama ripple wider. Nina Lin and Zoe Spencer's controversy involves serious consent questions. Tied to a clip with Saeed, a production assistant from FaZe, that's freshly reignited conversation about accountability online. At number 3, Nina Lin and Zoe Spencer. A clip from May 2024 resurfaced, showing them interacting, inappropriately, with FaZe Silky's assistant, Syed, who appeared visibly uncomfortable.
Whole thing resurfaces, like every single time it resurfaces, it just takes a toll on me, and I just don't want to talk about it, just because of that. And like the main thing for me is like I don't want my parents to see it and then have them like break down over it, because I did later on tell my parents about the sexual assault, and my mom ended up crying for a whole month and felt like it was her fault.
Their channels were banned, then unbanned just a day later, causing uproar over how seriously platforms treat misconduct. Lin later apologized, saying she thought it was a joke at the time. But many say that's not enough.
But with Saeed, though, I do gotta talk to Saeed. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I was looking for him all day.
For sure.
At number 2, QTCinderella and Vanillamace, with involvement from FaZe Boys. During a stream, QT stated that being kind to someone accused of racism or homophobia doesn't mean you support them. Vanillamace initially agreed, then walked it back.
Marginalized groups of people cannot be in rooms where people are making these kinds of jokes and XYZ and whatever, and have it be something that can be excused or written off. So with that being said, I am not going to be doing any collabs with anyone for a very long time.
The incident reopened debates about influence, accountability, and loyalty in streaming circles.
I've heard what a lot of people are saying, and I am sorry for the hurt that I've caused people. I'm really sorry. Like, I think overall, I really do try to be a positive influence. I really do. But the way I articulate it, I ignored how privileged I am to be able to navigate my relationships that way. I didn't make it clear that I'll always fight bigotry, and I'll always try to be a good role model and a good influence. But I want to be a good ally, and I want to be a positive influence, not just for streamers, but for like very young, impressionable audiences.
FaZe members publicly criticized Vanillamace for flip-flopping and betraying QT in the backlash.
Now it's, oh yeah, I'm uncomfortable with her statements. You were not uncomfortable with your statements. You're literally just anything your community says, you realize you're like, what? You have a filter, it seems like what are you doing?
You're going to make.
She literally was so nice to us. I'm so confused. And now she's saying she's agreeing with people and that she's uncomfortable with what Cutie's saying. What is?
But people who know.
It seems to be whatever your community says, you get worried about. You get worried about what your community says because that's how you make your money. And you have to do it exactly what they say. You don't. This isn't real fans, by the way. Fans aren't just fans for holding you accountable. Fans are people that support you and understand your point of view or your statements. Anything that your community says, it seems like you just agree with instantly. How are people going to call us homophobic and transphobic? We've never even... What have we done that's anywhere near...
Some fans saw QT's stance as moral consistency. Others saw hypocrisy. Vanillamace's public backtracking sparked accusations of betrayal, and the FaZe boys piled on. Now the whole saga is part of a bigger conversation about creators' social responsibility. At number 1, Emiru versus Mizkif. On October 25, 2025, Emiru went live and made serious accusations. Sexual assault, emotional abuse, stalking, and threats of blackmail. She claimed she stayed silent for years, but new safety concerns forced her to speak.
Myself, today I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I have attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself, but like I said, I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done.
Mizkif acknowledged fights and toxicity but denied criminal behavior.
Time. Just letting you know, there is no holding back. Who cares anymore? I will expose everything about every person that you've ever known. And it is time to go full demon time.
Yo.
Why not?
Don't tell me I've subbed this long for nothing.
Let's watch the world burn. Here, I'm taking out of sub-only mode.
This feud has torn the streaming world apart. Many creators and fans have rallied to Emiru's side. Others question evidence and context. One True King publicly distanced itself, though some say the removal was made earlier. The controversy has ignited debates about safety in creator spaces, boundaries, and how streaming relationships can go wrong. These feuds didn't just stay online. They had real fallout. Bans, rapid unbans, reputation damage, fans divided, and platform credibility on the line. The Nina and Zoe situation exposed how quickly platforms can react inconsistently. QT's drama raised questions about the weight creators carry, and Emiru's accusations might reshuffle power structures in creator ecosystems. What do these feuds teach us? First, trust is fragile. Once public, it becomes evidence. Second, accountability matters. Actions have consequences, even years after. Third, platforms need consistency. Bans without standards spark backlash. And finally, creators are human. Relationships, mistakes, and emotions all play a role behind the scenes. Which feud shook you the most? Emiru's emotional exposure, QT's moral line, or Nina and Zoe's consent controversy? Drop your pick below and tell us why. And don't miss the shorts for highlight moments you need to see.